Here we go. Welcome back to Undead Unluck Anime Review Episode number 2. We're here reviewing episodes 5 through 8. Yep, 5 through 8. Now 5 pretty much is more like an epilogue of the previous arc of the series. Because I think it's like the Unchange arc, I believe it is. Yes, Unchange. So, basically the whole thing with Episode 5, it is basically just the introduction to the organization that the series is going to deal with, known as the Union. Stand for the Anti-Identified Paranormal Control Organization. So, all numbers here are, well, we have Jules the Arc, who sits at number 1. Basically, there are 10 seats here. Shun Zhang, I believe in the show, I think he was at number 2. There is also number 3, Billy Alfred. Phil Hawkins. Top Sparks. Nico Borgel. And that's it. That's pretty much your lineup. All introduced pretty much basically in episode 5. Who voices these people? Well, the leader, the one who's basically number 1, she is voiced by Jenny Yakabrai. Phil Hawkins is voiced by no credited voice actor for him. I don't think he speaks. Top Bill Sparks, who sings to Funko in the scene where they introduce him. He's voiced by Edward A. Mendoza. Nico Fergal, he's a weird, creepy guy who can hook like a cable to his head, like he's a partial robot. Yes, seriously. He is voiced by Alan Lee. Yep. Billy Alfred, the number 3 of the group, is voiced by, well, basically in the case of this episode, they also introduced the concept of the Apocalypse Book. Basically, we have everybody go on quest, and if they don't complete them, they're added to the Yuma Galaxy. It's all about language, all this other stuff. Andy, after Top Bill Sparks basically explains what the Apocalypse Book is, it's an artifact sent by the being who started all the whole negator stuff. And apparently all the rules, like sex, race, all that stuff, some people say normal society. In this world, this is all rules set by the creator, which of course they want to kill him. Yep. Okay, Billy Alfred is voiced by Jonas Scott. That's pretty much basically who. So, there's also a thing where one of the members, the one known as Titania, yeah, where she basically is in a robot suit. Voiced by Michelle Murray. And she spends a lot of time trying to shoot Andy because of what happened with Gina. And then, of course, Andy decides to, need to go on a quest, so he proceeds to hop on the table, grab the Apocalypse Book, and by the mouth and says, "Hey, what's your hardest quest you have?" And it's finding the spoiler. And the three participants, he nominates himself, Fuko, and Sheen. Why not? There you go. They're like, request accepted. So basically, then we have Fuko getting herself a suit. Now she's not a negator, she's not a power, but she's very close to Sheen. implying she likes him. That's why I think she's actually his subordinate. So she gets a suit with the emblem, the tie. So the tie, believe it or not, allows her to walk to public transport. Like go to the tick terminals, no problem. The emblem allows her to go on the quest, and they want something nice. Now, in the case of Andy, he doesn't like the suit until we have this cloth thing going over the place. He grabs it after first, basically, Moo gets it. And then he gets it, and turns out this thing talks. And it turns out this suit is voiced by Derek Stephen Prince. I'm like, oh my gosh, the guy voices Udo from Bleach. And of course, Ken Watanabe, Ken from Digimon. Yep. I'm like, wow, what a familiar voice. I mean, it's been a while since I've heard anything not freaking Bleach related. I've heard of it. But, yeah, great to hear his voice again. They get their suit, and then, of course, they head out, not with a helicopter, by freaking semi. Which of course, Sheen has to follow them, of course. He gets inside, and they get to the town logging. Of course, they're just going to Vegas. Apparently, it's a western-type town surrounded by a big wall. Why in the world it's surrounded by a wall, they don't say. And they need to knock at the door. Because I mentioned also that basically a decaying corpse was spotted in New York City. Instead of going there, they go in Nevada for some reason, because that's where the corpse ended up. And of course, Andy decides to fire a bazooka into the wall to get into town. And then here punches zombies, he kills them, because they've all been spoiled. And he finds one, oh, this one's not been spoiled. She's a zombie, she's not biting him for some reason. Normally, zombies carry a virus in them, in pictures I've seen of them a lot of the time, where if you get scratched by them, or if they bite you, obviously, you turn into a zombie. This one was done very differently. I gotta praise the fact this is very original. So, it turns out this woman wants to get married, and she gets married to Andy on name only. And then, of course, Fuko and Sheen find these kids in the sewer who have timers on them, but the time is higher than everybody else's due to thinking about good thoughts. And how did he was spoiled? Of course, he basically is a freaking statue in the episode. He's sliced up but not killed, because you have to keep him alive to accomplish the quest. So, then to deal with him, they proceed to shove him to freaking space. By the way, Sheen also got a baton that's easy from Journey to Wish. When I see this, I don't think of Journey to Wish. I think of freaking Dragon Ball with Goku with the power pole. But yeah, it's from that particular story. I've never read the story, but I've seen a lot. That's actually the first time I could think of. That particular bow staff isn't seen where there's no monkey. There's no Monkey King involved, which I find that interesting. But the only reason why he is using it is because Sheen is Chinese. I gotta admit, that was actually quite neat to basically show to do that. So, and apparently you have to take the card out of his head. Apparently the thing is, I thought it was trapped. No, it's a card. He takes it out so you become his original personality. And he gets a space where he can breathe, somehow. And he transforms into a man named Victor. Hair is black, not gray. He proceeds to slice up Spoil's body, but keeps the core intact, so technically he is alive. And then he jumps back down, perfectly fine. Power pole, the bow staff is so active for some reason. And then thing gets all bored away. Mission accomplished. What you now gotta do with Victor, who fights Sheen, breaks him his limbs, and in order to stop him, of course, with the actual burn thing, with the card, they had to basically summon the entire round table to deal with him. Ending the episode. Really good here. And basically, the next two episodes will wrap up this arc and then basically with episode 11, start the very next arc of the series. And can you believe we're only on the third arc already, and we're only 3 episodes in? Yeah. Good stuff here. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Unless basically get the stream, because I've contacted a friend and I've not got a response yet. If the stream was not happening tonight, so expect next. If the stream's happening, new saga. Okay, next video. Bye.